Greetings and salutations, friends. I'm the Wolf, Wolf Chahi. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to this video. It's nice to have you here, as always. Today we will be watching the last 15 minutes of an 8-hour plus odyssey to attempt to defeat Loretta at rune level 1, parry only. You can see here the equipment loadout I was using. The only difference being that eventually I switch over to the short spear and I put the lightning affinity on it. And then right here I have to switch out to the Carian Knight Greaves because fashion is clearly more important than function. This was also my first time light rolling. And I'm finding that at rune level 1, it's pretty necessary for a lot of things to be able to light roll. Now this was never originally my intent to do this fight parry only. Well, I say parry only. When I mean parry only, I guess I mean I use parry strats to interrupt Loretta's attacks so that I can get an attack in. Now back to what I was saying about this being parry only and me never intending to do this fight parry only. In the past, when I have fought Loretta and I have fought the tree sentinels and other enemies that can be parried but not riposted, I just never bothered parrying them because my reasoning was, if I can't get a riposte, then what's the point of parrying? So in the past, my approach to fighting Loretta was to just put on the heaviest armor I had with the most poise, and to just go in with the square-off Ash of War on a longsword, and just bully the crap out of her, and tank her hits, and stagger her with the poise damage on the square-off Ash of War, and basically just brute force my way through the fight. Of course, at rune level 1, you have no vigor, you have no HP, so there's no such thing as brute forcing. So I was forced to finally, after all this time, after over 1,000 hours in Elden Ring, I was forced to learn this boss's attack patterns. And as you can see, my potato brain is not very good at learning sometimes. As you can see how I just died there. That was one of thousands of deaths that I probably had. Maybe not that many, but maybe I'm exaggerating. So, yeah, I had to learn how to actually fight this boss for real for the first time in my life. And it was pretty frustrating and pretty rewarding. Frustrating because if you screw up, you get punished. And actually, looking back on it, I was just about to say, looking back on it, you don't get punished that hard, but yeah, that was pretty bad. That was pretty bad. So run it back. Get back up, keep on fighting. I can do this all day, right? I was getting pretty frustrated with this fight, but the reason I wanted to defeat Loretta, or one of the reasons I kept throwing myself into this fight, was because I really wanted Carian retaliation for the parrying other bosses. And of course, well, if you know, if you don't know, you don't know, but if you know, Carian retaliation can be bought by an NPC in this area, but only after this fight. There we go. Ooh, thought I was gonna die there. So I had no choice but to throw myself into this fight over and over again to try to beat her if I wanted this car in retaliation. That jump attack, there were basically 2 attacks that she did that I parried. Now she has more than 2 attacks that are parryable, like those 2 attacks there. That first attack where she runs up and swings in a wide arc is the other attack that I parry. But then that follow-up attack she did where she raised her spear up, that can be parried, but I just mistimed it. The reason I only went for 2 attacks, basically, for parrying her, was because just at rune level 1, of course, you're a squishy wuss. So you can't just get in there and tank attacks and think you're going to survive. You know, my philosophy with parrying in the past is just, if at first you don't parry, parry again. Like, you know, if you don't get the first parry off, then try to parry other attacks that come in the combo, because you might get lucky and get something. You might get lucky and parry something. But you're not taking hits. You're not tanking hits at rune level 1. So I had 2 attacks. I had that attack, and then I had the jump attack. And the jump attack was a little tricky. And actually, with the jump attack, about 50% of the time, yeah, those things are BS. I hate those. I hate that magic attack with the multiple glintstones. 5 glintstones. The timing on it is so precise. I lost my place. Forgot what I was saying. Oh yeah, the jump attack. So with the jump attack, about 50% of the time, I would land it. And about the other 50% of the time, I would mistime the parry, but then I would get the, there we go, right there. There we go, I'd get the other attack on the follow-up, so it was just kind of like a thing that I just had to put up with and hope I had enough flasks to make up for the damage that I took in that situation. But yeah, my parry timing, you know, I was anticipating there instead of responding. That's one thing that I do a lot, is anticipate attacks rather than reacting to them. And it, as you can see, I pay dearly for it every single time I do it. So when I'm successful, I'm being mindful. Looks like I was getting ready to do something here. I don't know what. I think I was getting ready to quit and go somewhere else, but then I changed my mind. Oh no. Is this where I swap out to the spear? Yes, maybe? I think so, yeah. And then I switch over to the Ash of War. Here, I believe. This Ash of War is the Lightning Ram Ash of War, which you can get in Altus Plateau. I wasn't going to go to Altus Plateau yet, but eventually I felt like I had no choice because I felt like I needed stronger weapons, so I wanted to get the Smithing Stone Bell Bearing 2 so that I could upgrade these weapons to, what is it, plus 12 at this point. And I decided that if I was going to do that, I may as well put the Lightning Affinity, because of all of Loretta's weaknesses, She has 0 modifiers to lightning, so what was I doing? Oh, I got that hat. I got that hat and thought I'd try it out just for style points, but let's see. I think it looked like I was going to be heavy loading, so a little bit of mini strat here to get past this page that's waiting on the stairs to ruin your day. Just throw a dagger, distract him for a moment with that so you can run past him. So yeah, so there's kind of a story behind Loretta's that I started to tell, but I got distracted. So as I said in the past, my strategy was to brute force my way through this fight. But I had to learn. I had to learn her patterns. I had to learn how to fight her. Now, I started out with the square off Ash of War, but the problem is that it just takes too long to pull off square off. And so it just wasn't worth it because I was getting punished every time I used it. So then I switched to Flame of the Red Mains on my dagger, and that was doing okay. I was having to use a lot of blue flasks, and it was just okay. A lot of the time it would hit. A lot of the time it would miss because she would dodge away from it before I could use it. And that was another issue with square off, is her dodging away from it. So after a while of trying to use Flame of the Red Mains, I went to bow and arrow. I only really had flame arrows, so I was using said flame arrows, and I actually was doing pretty well with the bow and arrow in this fight. I actually got to a point where I almost killed her, and then I had not created a backup save. And so I exited out, created a backup save, went back, tried to do some more bow and arrow stuff, and then I got sick of that because with the bow and arrow, half the time the arrows would miss, half the time they would hit. I was still doing a respectable amount of damage, but it just was never consistent. So finally I had the brainwave to attempt parrying her, and that was sort of a turning point for me. Once I started parrying Loretta, and I realized that it would give me a massive opening to get one attack in, that was a game changer. And that was when I really started to do some consistent damage on her. And so, as you can see here, another game changer was switching to the spear and getting 2 attacks in instead of just the 1. Now the thing is, if anyone is going to attempt this strategy for defeating Loretta, whether it's rune level 1 or rune level 50 or 100, whatever, you have to parry her, then attack immediately, and then run forward a couple of steps and attack again. Because if you just try to attack and then attack immediately, you're going to miss because she gets knocked back. So you have to attack, move forward, attack. And that's what I did. And that was the big game changer for me in this fight. And it's kind of nice because most of the time when you do that, attack, step forward, attack, she gets, I was going to say she gets scared and dodges away, but it's an AI. But anyway, she dodges away. Whether she gets scared, I don't know, that's a question for the metaphysicists, I guess. Whether an AI can actually get scared. That's an easy attack to dodge. Then there's these crappy things that I hate. especially when she spams like 10 or 20 in a row, which I actually have had happen before. Huge pain in the butt. Royal Knight Loretta, aka Sir Spams a Lot. There we go. See how much that... The dodge timing is different depending on how far away you are from her with those things. So you really get punished when you mess it up like that. So luckily she has a lot of nice openings for sipping flasks, so that helps out a lot. Parry, stab, step forward, stab. I could have parried that, but I wasn't taking any chances with this fight. I had 2 attacks that I would parry, and that was it. I just wanted to keep the fight consistent so that I could be successful most of the time. I think this is it. I think this is my last attempt. I think we're about to see her go down. That's what she said. Alright, let's go. Dodge that arrow, which is nice, easy dodge to do. Here we go, dodge. And then miss, but boom, there we go, stab. Step forward, stab, and then one last greedy stab, because I knew that would kill her. And that's GG's, everyone. Thanks for watching the video. Please support my channel with a like and subscribe. And cheers. Good luck to you in all your gaming endeavors. Bye-bye.